Oh, hello. It is Wednesday. That means it is House Tours Day. And we are here on Dominion's side as it is their turn for some spotlighting. Um, Before we get started, there's a few things I'd like to cover. The first is, while it's not exactly housing related, there is a new community event coming up. It's called a Wildwear Fashion Show. It's being hosted by Happy Cupcakes in conjunction with Forge with Chaos and uh, I can't remember the other name. Simfan or something. It's a Frenchy kind of name. Um, but I wanted to mention it because they made a housing plot that's exclusively built for the event. And I thought it was really nice. Sometimes we talk about on this broadcast how a lot of people find interesting ways to incorporate housing into events, be it for Guild or RP or um, social events that other people would be able to get into that aren't exclusive to your small group. And this is one of those examples. They built the plot exclusively for this event, and I thought it was just interesting to see how that works. So the plot is on Calamity Hex, Calamity-Hex, Calamity Hex. It's called the Cupcakium, and maybe next week during the tours for Exile Side, we'll take a look at that up close. Assuming it's still going to be open to public. Right now, I checked it earlier this morning, it's still open, so as far as I know, it's going to remain so. But it's got like with it being a fashion show, they got like a catwalk and a little market area and everything. And I just thought it was kind of a cute idea. A lot of people build their homes for just looks or for their own personal entertainment, like myself. So they don't really have any major purpose or function. And it's nice to see folks using their housing plots in a way that, while it's not totally interactable, it gives people an opportunity to kind of stage a scene and set it up so that it works for whatever event they're hosting. Speaking of interactability, there is a new KBT update, the Katia Builder Toolkit update. She posted sometime early this morning saying that she'd update it, and I went and checked it out, and I will just read what she posted about it. She says that there's an improved kget command that lets you select what you want more easily. I personally have not used that command, so I don't really know much about that part. But there is the version update reminder, no longer flashes across the screen. It just replaces the title in the panel in red. I know a lot of people complained about it because you get this big bold message that come up in the middle of your screen. It was a little distracting, but I didn't really notice it too much myself. But I'm one of those that I regularly check for updates, so that might be part of it. But the biggest thing is interactables, where you can now assign decor to move around, resize, or rotate based on people activating interactables on your plot, like switches and levers. She states that this last one's a biggie. You can now make working light switches, faucets, etc. Unfortunately, there is 0 instructions available at this time. So it's a little complicated to use. So she says if you want to try it out, be free to do that if you're kind of brave and want to give it a shot. But she is working on a tutorial in the meantime, so hopefully that comes out really soon, and she can kind of better explain. I took a look at it and I was like, uh-oh, that's probably not something I need to be touching around. I would say if you want to give it a shot and see if you can play around with it and see how it works or get it to work, do so on an alt plot that you're really not worried about messing up. Don't do it on a plot that you're, concerned about, maybe causing some issues or something, or having it like totally go boom or something. Just test it on a tester plot. That's all I'm saying. Morning, Soccer Top. Glad you could join us. So anyway, the last thing is there is The PTR is up. It is live. It opened up last night. I downloaded the PTR data just before I went to bed, but I didn't actually get a chance to zip in and check it out yet. So I woke up to lots of tweets and forum posts about all of the new stuff that's coming. There is literally a ton of decor things, not just housing things, not just decor, but there's apparently lots of sky options coming, music. So yeah, I'm going to be getting into that later this afternoon, probably actually right after we finish this broadcast this morning. And hopefully I will have some stuff to show off tomorrow. I know I'm kind of a little late in the game, according to some, that, you know, I've already been posting a lot of that stuff, but I want to see it for myself just to kind of see what there is. I've heard about some new building blocks and lots of stuff. And obviously due to the scenery of the new zone being wintry, there's going to be a lot of winter type decor, but I think there's going to be other things that some of us that aren't dead set on, you know, making a new snowy plot. Oh, right. Don't forget the truth. Thank you, Maddie, and welcome to the show. I'm so glad you reminded me. I'm really bad about that. So horrible. Maddie just reminded me to tweet that we're doing the tours. Anyway, so yeah, the PTR is up. You're welcome to download the client if you want to check it out. I don't have a link to it on my Twitch channel page yet. I was thinking about it and I completely forgot to sort that out. But you can get to it on the official forums. There's an actual PTR subforum section where you can submit your feedback and bug reports and all that kind of stuff. And check it out. I've got my character in the copy queue. I just did that this morning when I first got up, so hopefully it will be sorted in time so that I can play around. If nothing else, I'll check out some of the earlier stuff to start a new character for the fun of it. Okay, that's the announcements, KBT, PTR, and the fashion show that's coming up. So let's get started. Our first 3 plots for today is actually, they're built by the same person. Their actual, oh gosh, my notes. Their actual main character name, from what I understand, is Voloset Molokov. Veloset, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like ruin their name. Veloset Molokov, I think is how you pronounce it. They have a thing of where they do commissions. They will come and build a plot for you if you pay them whatever. I tried finding out what they charge, but they kind of, in a roundabout way, avoided saying specifically. So I'm figuring it's more like a case-by-case basis. They just work it out or whatever. I don't know. But if you're interested in hiring somebody, Veloset is probably up for grabs. The way he, or they, I should say, talked about it was they do commissions on both factions, Exile and Dominion, but apparently, according to them, they've had more business on Dominion side for whatever reason. I guess I think the way they put it was the Exiles were more industrious themselves. It's not to say that the Dominion side is lazier, but I guess there's just not I guess the interest in housing is different based on the factions or something. Well, that's their own fault. They'll just have to deal with it, Maddie. Hey, Poi, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Okay, so a little bit about Veloset. The main thing they wanted me to kind of point out was they give themselves specific guidelines when they take on a commission. The first one is they stick to 1,000 decor or less. That's pretty amazing considering most of us have gotten used to the 2,500 decor limit. I'm talking just outside, you know, exterior. And restricting ourselves to like half that would be kind of a nightmare, I think, for a lot of us. because a lot of us now we're begging for more. So sticking to 1,000 decor limit is a pretty big, bold move in my opinion. The other one is they restrict themselves to 3 days, 72 hours. They give themselves 72 hours to build an entire theme for somebody else. And according to them, they find it very motivating. I think I would find it nightmarish in that respect. I don't think I could handle that kind of a restriction and deadline kind of thing, but for them, it seems to work really well. There's probably things they would, do differently if they had more time or whatever. But the way I understand it, like for instance, if they're going to go hunting on the auction house for something, um, if it's not available, they find alternative ways to do it. They only grab what's available during those 3 days that they allow themselves to work. So I don't know. It sounds like a tough thing to put yourself through, but it works for them. And so we're going to look at a few plots of theirs. They were kind enough to point them out to me, so I figured might as well show them all at once. There's actually others that I have actually toured of theirs in the past. But like I said, it's going to be different names. Like this one is Gunny's First. It's not, they're not the creator of the plot. Velocet is. It's just it's a commission plot. They paid for the plot to be made for them. So let's get started. The first one here is called the Taj Mahal, and you can see it's pretty bold. I mean, there's no mistaking what that is, looking like. Let me see, get it on like a medium run here. I don't remember exactly how much decor they said this one was at. I want to say it was either 800 or 900, somewhere around there. And I think, considering the limitations that they give themselves, this is pretty amazing. I think it's amazing anyway. I'm very bad with architecture. I'm bad with a lot of stuff, housing related. I'm horrible at landscaping, horrible at architecture, but I admire those that can figure out how to build these structures and have them resemble things that we're familiar with. So you'll see these little garden areas. We're just going to kind of walk the property first. Nice little flower bed areas. Again, the dirt is the Draken walls. It's because it's got that greenish, brownish mottled look, and it works really well for dirt. I see that used a lot. I've used it myself. And then they just got an assortment of flowers. And notice for each grouping, it's basically the same set of flowers. They've just arranged it differently for the most part. It could be that they've, copied it identically, but to me, it still looks pretty. It's arranged nicely. Then you got this, I don't know, big waterway kind of thing. Lots of grasses, the palm trees of different varieties, a little bit of stonework, and it just looks like it's a really good way of, if you minimalize the landscaping around, it really emphasizes your eye onto the main structure. Hey Annie, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Nice to see so many faces I recognize. So mostly it's just gardens. There's a little vendor up here in the front, and then you have some more gardens on the side here. Again, a lot of people are finding fun ways of using the NPCs to kind of liven up the plot. I tend not to use them myself on most of my plots. I just prefer to leave them empty. That's probably not always a good idea, but that's just the way I work. So, but from what I understand on the PTR, there's lots of new ones coming, including like animal types. So I'm sure a lot of people will be excited about that. Little campfire amongst the brambles here. So let's take a look here. You can see it's mostly Oran types of building blocks, from cylinders to domes to arches. Even the walls are Oran, even though the texture looks different. It's just one of the things Carbine has made kind of weird. This part here, for the siding along the riverway, or whatever you want to call it, that's just exile walls. I can't remember what's in the bunker, but we'll go ahead and go visit it first. Ah, yes, the treasure room. Again, remember, this person spent just 3 days building and under 1,000 items. So keep that in mind when you're judging this. For me, I think it's an astounding accomplishment, but to be able to make it look like that. Now, this door here, that's the, I think it's called the gear lamp. Using it for the door. Seen a lot of people use that and similar objects to kind of make it look like a functioning door. Of course, with Katya's update, that may actually be possible now, to actually get it to move based on a little switch that you flip. That'll be something funny. Would have been handy, like in my Tangled plot, when I had the secret passage and there was like the little bar tap that you flip and they could have opened the door that way. So here you have the living room kind of area with the TV, little bar area, a giant caretaker DJ. See, this would be like where you could like have it interact with that switch and cause the doors to open. If you weren't using an actual functioning door, I guess. Here's the bedroom. Kind of a little seating area. Yeah, me too, Annie. I don't know, I guess I'm slow in just about everything, leveling and building and all that. So anyone can come up with this kind of stuff this quick and have it look, you know, decent. That's, I praise that. So here's the bathroom. Got a nice little tub here. It's just a combination of waterfalls. This part here is like the top of the waterfall, and they've just got the rest of it sunk down so that you can't see it. And then, of course, the curved tubes to make the little spout, the little drain. I think, yeah, this is the bathroom area. And I like the little, it's always fun to see how people put together their toilets. We have an actual toilet decor, but I would say a good half of the builders don't use it because it's so big and clunky looking, and it usually doesn't fit the particular theme that a person might have going on in their house. So it's always fun to see people use different pieces, and it looks like this is one of those bookcases, and then some Oran hollow dome and tubing, and then a plate for the lid. So it looks like this would be the flusher. I like those, and it's always, you never get the same thing twice. That's what's fun. Now, as far as I know, there's no further interior to visit, even though there are actually several levels to this thing. And I'm going to see. That's why the rooms are so big. They just kind of kept it minimal. Again, they're working within a certain scope of items. So here you have the upper layer. And notice how they were able to give thickness to the arch. It's just multiple arches layered on top of each other to give that thickness. It would be different if we could, have some kind of feature to, stretch a decor piece a certain way. Yeah, soccer, the toileting game is pretty ugly. I hardly ever use it. I've seen people, some they'll like sink it into the wall so that the front part is visible on the bathroom side, and then the other part is visible on the, and it kind of looks like a uh, like where you dry your hands. So I find that funny, but and there's been a few that's been able to cover it up in part to kind of make it less ugly, but it's still kind of a tough thing to kind of deal with for me. This is like, I guess, it's a meeting hall for whoever lives here. Maybe this is where they plan, taking over the world, or I don't know what. You can see, again, the repetition of the layering of the arches to get the thickness. They didn't do that with these. They left them a single. Um, but they made interesting little sitting nooks all around the place. I'm gonna walk around here. You have multiple ways to get into this one, and then you can go up to the final level, I think. I will close this door so you can see it a little better. We'll go over here in a moment. Forgot about the little walkway over there. I think I have to get up on my hoverboard here to make the jump. So here's a look from the top. And you can see the little towers that they made. It's just cylinders, domes, and then pillars lined up nicely with the little fire pits inside there. But it works out nice with the layering. It not only, helps make a nice solid bit, but it has a design too, kind of. Someone's laundry just hanging there. See if I can get a good shot of the top there. They're just using the weather vane for the little topper. And that's just a cylinder with two domes sandwiched to make that little round bit. And the towers here just look like a repeat of these, but they've just been extended in an interesting way. Okay, the last thing I did forget was this bit here. They kind of devised this little, I don't know, jungle walk or something. Really not sure how I'm supposed to get up there. I guess just jump up the rocks. Yeah. Well, I guess everybody has to do laundry. So there you go. You got like a little bit of the jungle. That's, I guess I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the actual Taj Mahal, so I have no idea if it's in a city or if it's in a jungle type thing. But they kind of make it feel like there's a little bit of jungly going on. So that's Gunny's first Taj Mahal. Like I said, this is a commissioned work, so it's actually built by Velaset Molokov. And let's check out the next one. The next one is on, check my notes here, make sure I get it right. I think it's pronounced Featrum DR. Kind of a weird name. It's called No Sushi, and it's based on the Osaka castle. Yeah, it is soccer. It's one way, I guess, of them providing like a basis of them, and then, if you want to expand on it afterward, I would guess that, whoever purchased it is allowed to do that. Again, I don't know how many this one exactly is, but from what I understand, it's within the 1,000 decor, and it was built within the 3-day time limit. I think that's just crazy myself. I think I would probably just go into a panic if I put that kind of a pressure on myself. But you know, if you need the motivation, if you're kind of one that likes to procrastinate, setting up some kind of rules like that might be, you know, in your best interest. So yeah, I think I can't remember exactly what they said about the fab kits. I think the owner wanted those left, and they just had to kind of build the place around those. And something like this Eldon bit, that's kind of hard to hide, or you know, incorporate into this particular style. Um, But I think considering, again, the 3-day limit and the 1,000 decor, they've done a fantastic job of putting together this Osaka type of thing, especially the building itself. I think that's their strong point, is the architecture that they can put together. And they got this nice little river winding through, and then have this little water feature here. It doesn't really explain where the water's coming from, you know, just pouring out of the rock, but you know, uh, it's nicely done anyway. This part here, I think it is either glass or some other thing that they're using for the water. It's not an actual, it's no movement there other than the plants. I do know that this place, either it has or it will have a bunker house that they're going to turn into a dojo, but or something along those lines, but it just hasn't been added yet. So it's just the exterior stuff that we will be checking out. So you can see most of the foundation of the building itself is those Draken fences. I love those things. I've been using them a lot lately. I used them for my dragon painting, and I've got them on my spring Eastery plot. And it's just, you know, if you can ignore the little skulls that you see in there, then it's a really nice rocky kind of item. They've even used it for the well. But I don't know exactly what they're using for the blackness underneath. I imagine it's a book, because it looks like there's a bit of the spine there, but I can't say for sure. I didn't, you know, ask them too many specifics on exactly what they used. But I do know that these are just pillars, the hanging chain, and the 2x4 there. Simple, but you know, it works really nice. A little bit of a bamboo forest here, with this little, I don't know, kind of thing where you come and pray or something. And then, of course, the main feature would be the castle itself, the Osaka castle. It's a bit of a jumping puzzle if you're interested in going as far up as you can go. If you can reach the little tree, the little bookshelf symbol up here, the little tree bit, that's as high as you can go, I believe. I managed it while I was getting a tour by the builder. I can't make any promises that I will do it today, but I will try. I don't know if these kind of arch thingies have a specific name, but usually when someone's doing an Asian theme plot, you see this kind of design, this double arch thing. It's just pillars, 2x4s, and then they've, you know, surrounded with rocks and thrown in the lanterns and stuff. I believe this is just a regular staircase. It could be just 2x4 metal edge 2x4s, but it looks like the standard staircase, and then they've just blocked it in with Draken floors. You can see that along with the Draken fences, they've used, looks like obsidian stones for some of the foundation. I guess to kind of better blend it in with the rocks that they've got in the back here. The majority of the building itself appears to be Oran walls, Oran pillars, it looks like, and then a lot of exile curved walls for the little flary bits. So the main front windows is just regular windows. I think they're actually turned upside down so that it gives it a straight edge on the top, and then they've just bordered it with the 2x4. And we'll take a little closer look on the exterior, but first we'll just visit the inside. It's kind of small. It's similar to the Taj Mahal. It's just a little bit of interior that they put in. You have some little displays and bits. Again, as Soccer mentioned, it's nice that they limit it to the 1,000 because that leaves a lot of growing room for, you know, special touches that the owner might want to throw in themselves at some point. So here, I guess, is like a kitchen area with a little bit of a bar. I really like the way they've made these like rice paper walls or something. It's just, from what I can tell, it's just 2x4s with Oran wall to make it look that kind of white, and they've just put on that pattern. You know, so many of us use these, the divider walls, for most of that, but maybe they didn't want it looking so bright, and if they enlarged it, it would be pretty thick, so they just made their own. Turned out really nice, I think. So here's a bedroom, a little bit of a desk area. Yeah, it's really nice. It's minimalist, but it's still got a lot of detail. Like I said, I think the main jewel of this particular builder is the building that they provide their customer or client or whatever you want to call it. So here's like the throne treasure / gathering room. I mean, they've got a little seating area here, and then like more like a where they get some information and stuff here. And I think that's all for the interior. They did show me a few little hidey spots up above, but due to the way that they've created the building itself, it makes the interior get smaller and smaller as you go up. I mean, not just, it's not like the interior for this room would be this wide. It's actually only this big because of the way they use the curve walls for these, for the architecture itself. It really blocks it off. So let's see if I can get up here. I'm going to try. There's no promises, but I will try. It's really tricky. I'm going to try and remember how I did this. So you can see for all of these little, I don't know what you call those, the awnings, the little flares, it's all curved exile walls. But if you'll notice, they've got the same thing here. So they actually opened this up for me while I was here. There's an actual room space in it, but because of the curved walls, it's like just like a little triangle section. You know, it's really claustrophobic in there. So they were trying to explain that if they could find a way to make these curves in a different material that would, you know, free up that space inside, they would probably go for that. But see, they're using these curves, and that really cuts inside there that you don't see it. It looks great on the outside, but it doesn't leave much room for interior work. But it's a really niftily done idea. Again, they just turned the windows upside down to change up the look. Okay, let's see. I think it's pretty much same all around. They're using the Oran tree-shaped bookshelf for the little design here, and they repeat it up above. And I think they even have it backlit with a little bit of a lighting to kind of make it glow a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can do this. It's supposed to be able to ride the wall there. There we go. I'm up on the next level. This is going to be fun. You can see it just gets increasingly smaller, and they change each floor so that the window designs, the arrangement is different, but it all sticks, you know, pretty much to the same bit. Okay, let's see, how did I do this before? I think it's here. Ugh. This is so not my thing. As most of you know, let's just try it this way. Maybe it's, oh yeah. So here they changed it up just a little bit with the hover part pieces. This is one of those edge pieces, I think, and gives us some little bit of a spiky pillar corner type things going on. It still sticks with the general shape and everything, but it just adds a little extra, probably to break the repetitiveness all the way up. And of course, they broke up it as well nicely with the overgrowth. They didn't overdo it, but there's just enough where it kind of, you know, adds a little interest to it each time as you go. Let's see, I think it's this one. Come on, you junky bunk. Maybe I have to do it this way. There we go. This is the next level. And again, unfortunately, just because of the way they constructed the building, you can't actually, there's no really good amount of space. So like for this one with the curve here, there's just this little pocket of space all the way through the interior. So all of this is blocked off inside, just again because of the way they chose to build it. I'm not sure if I can get up one more. Let's try it here. I think it's this one. Get up there, mister. I hate jumping puzzles, people. I really do. Because I'm so bad at them. There we go. Okay, I think that's as high as you're allowed. But you can see that they topped it with some golden lop. And it just, I don't know, I love the building. I really do. Just the idea, the work that, you know, the thought that went into doing this. And remember, this is 3 days of work, under 1,000 items. It's just crazy. So that is Osaka Castle. It's on Featurum Doctor's House, but it is created by Veliset Molokov. Really lovely place. Hey Cowboy, nice to see you. I've seen you lurking around but not really chatting lately, but glad to have you around. Okay, the next one of Veliset's would be on Hamster Dammer's Plot. And this one, I know we've seen some similar ones. I think this will be the third booty bay we have visited, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to again show that even with the same idea, here this will be the third person we've seen and not a single one of them look the same. I love that. That's just awesome about housing. You can take the same idea, have multiple people go with it, but it always turns out different. I mean, the general idea is the same. You know, they're making it look like Booty Bay from World of Warcraft, but it's totally different than the other people's. I just love it. Hey Loshi, welcome to the show. So yeah, mostly it's winding rivers for the water. It's just multiple rivers. Yes, you can see where there's some bits kind of hanging out in the air there, but you know, knowing how housing works, the limitations we have, most of us can forgive them for that. Um, it's just the idea there that it goes on into infinity, you know. Most of the rocky walls are made up of the sandstone rocks. I don't think it's the tiered ones. I think it's just the regular one, but it could be the tiered. Um, the boat itself is mostly exile floors, arches, and 2x4s. It's a really nice little boat idea. See if we can get a better look here. Curved walls for the bottom. They even have a little walk the plank thing here going on. A few hover park pieces for this little bit here, and I think for the main part of the little wheel thingy. I don't know what you call that. So bad of a terminology, it's awful. For the sails, it's just white drapes attached to some pillars. So let's go inside. I guess this would be the captain's area here. So you have his little desk and bar area. Red drapes for the curtains here. And then if you go down into, what's it called? The galley? No. Is that the food place? The galley? This is the belly of the boat. That's what we're going to call it. The belly of the boat. This is where the treasure and the boxes and stuff are. I'm going to up over here to the front. I guess, what is that? The bow? I'm so bad with stuff. The bow, I guess, the front end of the ship is made from a tiki bar. Then it's got, I think this is one of the Draken signs. I don't know if it's the witchcraft one or what, but it's attached to an exile dome to just kind of help it sit on the front better, or like the little thing that you know, the lady that always sits on the front. Just gonna zoom out here so you can kind of see better the whole building of it. For the little rudder thing, that's just an exile shelf that they're using there. Notice they've even put little plants and stuff in the water. So you got little, looks like jellyfish plants and the little plushies, the little shelark plushies and stuff. Here's that little island. I think I commented on the last Booty Bay plot that we visited that it didn't have the island. And here's the little island. It's got the little treasure bit on it. For anyone that's familiar with the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. Got that little statue thing, and inside the statue is some treasure stuff. They even use some strain items for some of the underwater bits. I believe there is an actual, yeah, there is a hatch, the hatch house here. From what I remember, yeah, it's empty. But, you know, whoever owns the plot is probably welcome to put something in there if they can think of something that will work really nicely. Because remember, this was built 3 days under 1,000 decor. That was their, the builders' limitations that they set for themselves. So most of the decking, or whatever you want to call it, is made out of staircase platforms, and then the new boardwalk pieces. Staircase landings, not platforms, landings. I want to say that this is either, I don't know what that is that they're using for the black. It's really nice and stark there. I wanted to say it was the cellar entrance, but I don't really see any signs of the white bricky part. So I don't know if they just cleverly covered it or what. It could be a maintenance platform. I think that's pretty dark, although I don't think it's this dark. So I'm really not sure what they're using for the black. But they've just bordered it with metal edge 2x4s, added some tiki lanterns, and then some little tracks here. And that's the cave that would lead off into, Stranglethorn Vale or whatever. Oh, well, I'm not even going to try the Swedish version, Annie. So, again, Booty Bay is kind of like a makeshift place. So there's a lot of little different bits and stuff. Um, and while not all of the buildings have things in them, I think they did their best to try and indicate, this is for that. And there's a strange little sheep room. You got a little bedroom here. Uh, Here's like a little mini inn kind of thing going on. Taking advantage of the rope bridges and stuff that we have now really helps for a setup like this. But they've added in like the Falcon fence post to just kind of finish it off a little better. I like the construction of the houses too. There's just a variety of pieces. Like I said, Booty Bay is kind of like, it's like I don't want to say a junk town, but it's kind of like it's been made from scraps, like maybe of crash ships or something. That's what it reminds me of. So you have all sorts of pieces that are being used. You got decking pieces, curved walls, exile walls, this little faux door that looks like either uh, one of the travel posters, or it could be, the back of something else, like maybe the warning poster. I think it has a little bit more texture to it than the travel posters. The handle is the top of a bottle, and then it's just framed with the 2x4s. Very simple, but it's effective. It's what it is. It's a door. When you're doing the faux things like that, it's really important. This one, I want to say it's a book, one of the yellow books maybe. And then again, it's just repeating the framing and the handle. But I love the sign. Look at the little sign. So this is the armorer, but you can't go in there. But they've got it so that you know what it's supposed to be. So they just did a hammer and sword on the sign. And since it's, the thickness of the sign itself is, thin, you get away with having a single sword and it showing up on both sides. It's a clever way of doing that. Again, similar faux door to that one. But notice how they mix and match. Sometimes they got the peaked roofs. I think these are just decking stairs layered up to make it look, I don't know, almost like thatchy. And then the curved walls to make it a little dome shape there, curved shape. And notice they break up the monotony of some of it too with these borders. I probably wouldn't think of stuff like that, because again, I'm not good with that construction stuff. Here's another one. Again, it's a bluish door. It's either a book or who knows what. I don't know what it is. And I like how they're all interconnected, just like, the real Booty Bay. There's all kinds of ways you can get to it. They have the little shark here, been caught. It's just a shark. Again, while most of the buildings, in some of the other Booty Bays, they had the buildings where you can actually go into all of them, or at least the majority of them. And this one's just opted to keep it closed for most of them, using the pillar bits, the little column cylinder thingies for the tie-offs there. Over here we have the bank. The roof is just a tiki roof, and then they've just built in a little place underneath it. So you have the little bank with storage and stuff. I think some of the others thought to put like the mailbox here, like it is in the game. Like I said, it's just interesting to see how the same theme can be brought together differently depending on who's building it. It's still reminiscent. I mean, you come in, if you're familiar with the game, you'll know what it's supposed to represent, and that's really the key thing. So here's the bar slash inn thing. You've got the little bit where, I don't know, where the captain guy is, where he does some of his quest giving. He's on that little part of a boat. And then this would be, I think this is where the flight paths are or something. Or Day of the Dead guys are. Here's that. It almost looks like the Osaka thing, doesn't it? I wonder what came first. Was it this, and this gave him the idea for the Osaka temple or castle or whatever? Looks like stones being used for that. And then the granite pillar for that little bit of trim. Yeah, I saw another door here. What was that? Okay, so it just leads out to, presumably this would be where like maybe the flight path would be. Okay, I think that's all of it. Here's a good shot of the boat. That's a nice little scene there. Let's see. Don't think I saw any of these down here, but again, it's mostly faux buildings. And there's really nothing wrong with that. It's only slightly disappointing when you come into a thing like this and you want to explore. But again, keep in mind, 3 days, 1,000 decor. What is that? I guess that's the top of a... Oh, that's part of that boardwalk thing. I was like, what is that? So yeah, there you go. That's Booty Bay, built by Veliset Molikov, but it is on Hamster Dammer's plot. It's a really lovely little build. I don't think we even talked about this one. That's where the armorer and stuff is. Did I go inside there? I don't know if I can. Mostly granite floors, Oran walls, and then the faux doors here. Just some dividers. I like the little money bag though. The sign. It'd be a good bank sign for somebody. Anyway, I think it's a nice little thing, especially considering the limitations they gave themselves. It works really, really well. And as pointed out, it leaves room for whoever owns it to be able to expand on it if they wish, like building into the bunker house and that kind of stuff. Okay, our next one is Cheeky